Alex had always considered Sundays his quiet sanctuary. The world seemed slower, calmer, and the hum of life was just a background noise, rather than a push for deadlines and meetings. Today, the fluorescent lights of the small neighborhood supermarket shone above him as he pushed a squeaky cart down the aisle. He was thinking about work. As usual, his team at Novatech had been struggling with a tricky AI project for weeks. They were building a system designed to predict supply chain patterns. Something revolutionary. But it kept glitching. Alex ran simulations, adjusted algorithms, and even stayed late nights debugging lines of code. But something was always off. Shaking his head, he muttered to himself, "If this thing crashes again, I might actually cry." Where? He reached for a can of beans on the top shelf when a voice behind him made him freeze. "Careful, or you'll knock the whole shelf down." Alex turned, and for a moment, he thought he'd imagined it. Standing there, a few feet away, was Serena Vallon. His CEO, the woman whose face graced every company presentation, whose name alone could send investors into a frenzy, now standing casually in the soup aisle, wearing a simple blouse and jeans. There were no cameras, no assistants, just her. Alex's brain short-circuited. "Me? Oh, hi," he stammered. Serena smiled, but it wasn't the polished, corporate smile people were used to seeing. It was quick, almost shy, but there was an unmistakable spark of mischief in her eyes. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "Here," she said, pressing something into his hand. Alex barely had time to notice before she whispered, "Act like you're my boyfriend." The words hit him like a lightning bolt. Alex looked down at the small stack of bills in his palm, $950. He blinked. What?" "Just for an hour," she added quickly. "We're in public. People might watch. Don't ask questions. Just..." She smiled and waved a hand vaguely at the surroundings. "Play along." Before Alex could respond, Serena grabbed a shopping basket and moved down the aisle with a practiced stride, as if nothing unusual had happened. Alex's mind was spinning. He stared at the bills, then at her retreating figure. Is this real? Am I dreaming? Or did she just... He shook his head. No. Okay, not my problem. Maybe this is a test? Yet curiosity gnawed at him. A part of him wanted to follow, to see how this would play out. He was careful, though, very careful. His curiosity was balanced by common sense. He couldn't just blurt out questions or act foolish in front of the CEO. He took a deep breath, straightened his shoulders, and quietly fell in line behind her. The first few minutes were awkward silence. Alex tried to imagine what a boyfriend should do in this situation. Should he hold her arm? Smile politely? Make small talk? His mind raced with possibilities and wrong answers. Finally, Serena spoke, her voice casual. "So, you're here just buying groceries, right?" Yeah," Alex said, fumbling. "Just normal stuff. Milk, eggs, the essentials." Serena chuckled softly. "Good. That's what I wanted. No weird surprises. Just a regular Sunday." They moved past the fresh produce, and Alex noticed how her eyes scanned the shelves carefully. Not the kind of scanning a CEO would do for research or investment. No, this was more personal. She was looking for the freshest tomatoes, the ripest bananas. Alex's tension eased slightly. Perhaps she was just human. Yet the situation remained strange. "Why me?" he asked cautiously. "Why not anyone else?" Serena glanced at him, her eyes sparkling. "Because I trust you. And because you're different. You see things others don't. You think fast. You act even faster. Plus," she added with a faint smirk, "you seem nervous enough to make it believable." Alex felt his face flush. Nervous, believable. It sounded like an insult wrapped in a compliment. "Right. Nervous. Got it." As they walked past the snack aisle, Serena suddenly paused and looked around carefully. Alex stiffened. Something about her movement was precise, calculated, like she was scanning the environment for threats. Then he noticed it. A small drone hovering near the ceiling. Its cameras were barely noticeable, but its presence made his stomach tighten. It wasn't a security drone from the store, this one was different. Professional. Dangerous. Is that? He started, but Serena shook her head. Ignore it. For now. Focus on the shopping. Alex did his best, but his mind raced. Who would be spying on the CEO in a supermarket? And why? They reached the checkout aisle. Alex's hands trembled slightly as he handed the cashier his portion of the groceries, trying to keep his composure. Serena, meanwhile, chatted easily with the cashier, a natural smile lighting her face. It struck Alex that he had never seen her so relaxed outside the office, outside the high-pressure world of Novatech. See? She whispered, as they walked out of the store. Alex wanted to believe her, but the drone still hovered outside the automatic doors. As they moved to the parking lot, Serena glanced at him, her tone suddenly serious. Alex, listen. This little role-play isn't just about fun. There's something happening at Novatech. Something big. And I need someone I can trust. Someone human. Someone unpredictable. Alex blinked. He wanted to respond, to ask what she meant, but she didn't give him the chance. She reached into her bag, pulled out a small device, and tucked it into his hand. Keep this safe, and keep your head. Can you do that? Alex looked down at the device, a small metal rectangle with blinking lights. Yeah. I think so, he said, unsure if he believed himself. Serena smiled again. But it wasn't the playful smile from before. This one carried weight, authority, and a hint of vulnerability. Good. That's all I need for now. For the rest of the walk back to his car, Alex followed her silently, trying to process everything. A CEO asking him to act like her boyfriend. A mysterious drone. A secret device, and a warning he didn't fully understand. By the time he got to his car, Alex felt like the ground had shifted under his feet. Nothing about his ordinary Sunday felt ordinary anymore. As he sat behind the wheel, he glanced at the device in his hand. Tiny as it was, it seemed to pulse with importance. He didn't know what it did, but he knew it was connected to Serena's world, the one he had only ever seen from behind glass office doors. And now, somehow, he was part of it. For the first time in his life, Alex felt the thrill of being human in a world that relied on algorithms, AI, and cold calculations. Today, his instincts, courage, and quick thinking were going to matter. Today, he realized, being human wasn't just about surviving, it was about thriving when the world least expected it. He took a deep breath, started the car, and decided to follow Serena's lead. Whatever lay ahead, he would face it because, for the first time, he felt like he mattered. And little did Alex know, the hour-long pretend boyfriend mission would be the start of a journey that would test not just his nerves, but his ingenuity, bravery, and humanity. Alex parked his car a few spaces away from Serena's sleek electric vehicle, still gripping the small device she had given him. His mind was spinning with questions. What was this device? Why had she chosen him? And most importantly, why the pretense, the boyfriend act? Serena approached her car with calm confidence, tossing her shopping bag into the trunk. Hop in, she said, motioning to the passenger seat. Her tone was casual, almost like they were old friends, but Alex knew better. In her world, casual could hide 100 layers of tension. He slid into the seat, trying to seem composed. So, pretend boyfriend mode, right? He asked, glancing at her. Serena smirked. Exactly. Just follow my lead, and don't ask too many questions. Alex nodded, though his curiosity burned like a wildfire. He wanted answers, but he also wanted to survive this encounter without making a fool of himself. The car hummed to life, smooth and silent, gliding out of the parking lot. Serena's focus was sharp as she drove through the quiet streets. Alex stole glances at her. He had seen her command boardrooms, give presentations to high-level investors, and even appear on televised interviews. But seeing her here, outside the corporate armor, she was human and flawed in a way that made her seem approachable. "Why me?" Alex finally asked, unable to contain himself. Serena's eyes met his briefly. "Because humans like you, unpredictable, capable of thinking outside the algorithm, are rare. Most people just follow instructions, obey systems, or rely on machines to make decisions. You see patterns differently. You act instinctively. That's valuable." Alex felt a mix of pride and disbelief. Him? Valuable to Serena Vallon? He shook his head to clear his thoughts. "Okay, but this whole pretend boyfriend thing, I don't get it." She chuckled softly, a sound that made his stomach twist with nervous energy. "I needed a reason to move through public spaces without attracting attention. People watch me constantly. Investors, reporters, even our competitors. You're the perfect cover." Alex swallowed. It made sense, in a strange, unbelievable way. They drove for several minutes in silence, the hum of the electric car filling the space. Then Serena turned suddenly into a small, quiet park. She parked under a row of trees, far from the main road. "Okay," she said, taking a deep breath. "Time to test you." "Time to test you." Alex blinked. "Test me?" She held up her hand, indicating the device he still held. "That device is more than it seems. It's a prototype, a portable AI assistant designed for security monitoring. In the wrong hands, it could compromise everything we've built at Novatech. I need to know if you can handle responsibility under pressure." Alex stared at it. "Under pressure? You mean like life-threatening pressure?" Serena gave a small nod, her expression serious. "Sometimes the best lessons happen when the stakes are high. Don't worry, nothing will happen that will put you in real danger. But you will have to think fast." Alex's heart raced. He wasn't sure if he should be terrified or thrilled. "All right," he said finally, taking a deep breath. "I'll try my best." Serena smiled, the first genuine smile he had seen from her in days. "Good. That's all I ask. Humans are amazing at improvising. Machines, not so much. You'll see why soon." She gestured for him to follow her into the park. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves overhead. Alex tried to relax, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching, and he was right. From behind the tall hedges at the edge of the park, a small surveillance drone hovered silently. Its black frame was barely visible against the shadows. Alex's pulse quickened. "Is that them?" he whispered. Serena nodded subtly. "Yes, they're trying to get the device, but it's not just about the tech. It's about information. Competitors want to know how we think, how we operate, and they'll do anything to get it." Alex's mind raced. "And what do we do?" She smiled again. But this time there was a hint of admiration. "We improvise. Humans have instincts. Machines follow logic. That gives us an edge." Alex realized then why she had chosen him. It wasn't just trust. It was instinct, intuition, unpredictability, qualities a CEO couldn't afford to ignore in a world dominated by AI and surveillance. Serena handed him the device. "Keep it safe, and be creative." Alex glanced at it nervously. "Creative? How creative are we talking?" "Human-level creative," she replied. "Use what's around you. Think fast. Make decisions. Don't panic. And above all, don't let them see you sweat." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. They moved carefully through the park, pretending to be a couple enjoying a casual stroll. Serena held his arm lightly, laughing at a joke he made about the grocery store aisle heist they had just survived. Alex forced himself to smile. His mind, however, was focused on the drone, tracking its movements. predicting its next maneuver. "Alex," Serena whispered, glancing around. "See that tree over there? Tall, thick trunk, lots of branches." He followed her gaze. "We climb it?" "Not exactly," she said. "We use it as cover and distract it." The drone hovered closer. Its sensors glinted in the sunlight. Alex's mind raced. Then, almost instinctively, he grabbed his phone, activated the flashlight, and aimed it at the drone. The sudden burst of light reflected off nearby surfaces, confusing its sensors momentarily. Serena nodded approvingly. "Good. Now, move behind the tree." Alex followed, ducking behind the thick trunk. His heart pounded in his chest, adrenaline surging. He had never done anything like this before. And yet, it felt natural. "Okay," Serena said softly. "Now, improvise a second distraction." Alex glanced around. The park was quiet, but there were children's toys abandoned on the grass, a few benches, and scattered leaves. He picked up a small metallic water bottle and tossed it behind a bench. It clattered loudly, and the drone swiveled its sensors toward the noise. "Perfect," Serena whispered. "Now, we move." They sprinted quietly across the park, weaving through trees and benches, using human intuition and quick thinking to stay out of sight. Every step, every decision, relied on his judgment. No algorithms, no pre-programmed instructions. Just human instinct. By the time they reached the far edge of the park, Alex was breathing heavily, his hands shaking slightly. But Serena's smile was bright, proud, impressive, she said. "You see? Humans are remarkable. Machines follow patterns. You improvise, adapt, survive. That's why I chose you." Alex couldn't help but grin, despite the lingering fear. "So, my nervous energy was actually useful?" Serena laughed, a warm, easy sound. "Yes. Believe it or not, your nerves were an asset. You reacted in ways no algorithm could predict. That's human power." For the first time, Alex felt a deep sense of purpose. His work at Novatech had always been about coding and systems, about machines and data. But here, in a quiet park with a CEO and a hovering drone, he realized that humans had an edge. No machine could replicate instinct, intuition, courage, and creativity. Serena glanced at him, her tone softer now. "Alex, I don't just need someone to act like my boyfriend in public. I need humans who can think, act, and survive when technology fails or is used against us. Today, you proved you're one of them." Alex felt a warmth spread through him. Pride. Yes, but also a strange, exhilarating thrill. He had just protected a prototype device, outsmarted a surveillance drone, and kept his composure. And he had done it with nothing but his human instincts. As they walked back to their cars, Alex realized that life had just changed. The world of AI, corporate power, and technology wasn't as distant as he had thought. It was real, dangerous, and now, he was a part of it. And perhaps, for the first time, he understood that being human, unpredictable, adaptive, and creative was a superpower all its own. The sun was dipping low over the city, casting long shadows across the quiet streets. Alex followed Serena as they left the park, still processing everything that had happened. His heart was still racing from the chase, and yet, a strange thrill buzzed under his skin. He had survived, or at least, he thought he had. Serena led him through a side street, away from the main road. Her pace was calm, deliberate. Yet there was an unmistakable tension in her posture. Alex couldn't help but notice the subtle way she scanned every corner, every parked car, and every shadow. He realized quickly that this wasn't just a casual stroll home, they were still under surveillance. "Alex," Serena said softly, breaking the silence, "you did well in the park. But what comes next is more complicated. It's not just about avoiding a drone or making distractions. We're going to face something more intelligent. A small security bot sent to track us. Coming in for Meng. Alex stopped dead. A bot? You mean like a robot? Exactly, she replied, keeping her voice low. It's faster than a drone, smarter. And it can adapt. You're going to see why human intuition matters even more when machines are hunting you. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. He had never been involved in anything like this. The most dangerous thing in his life so far had been a failed AI experiment or a late-night server crash. Now, he was about to face a machine designed to track and intercept him and Serena. As if on cue, a small, sleek bot appeared from behind a dumpster at the corner of the street. Its black metal frame glinted in the fading sunlight, and its sensors glowed faint red. It moved silently, its wheels barely making a sound, yet its presence made the air feel heavier, charged with danger. "Stay calm," Serena whispered, pressing her hand gently against his arm. "Observe its patterns. Humans can predict certain behaviors better than machines. If we act smart, we can outmaneuver it." Alex nodded, though his hands shook slightly. He glanced around the street for anything he could use. Trash cans, newspaper stands, streetlights, everything became potential tools. "Follow my lead," Serena said, and then she ducked behind a corner, signaling him to do the same. Alex crouched low, peering around the edge of the wall. The bot rolled forward, scanning systematically. Its sensors were precise, mapping their movements with incredible accuracy. But humans had advantages machines didn't: unpredictability, instinct, and improvisation. "Now," Serena said, her voice barely audible. "Distract it." Alex took a deep breath. He picked up a discarded soda can and tossed it down an alley. The can clattered loudly against the pavement. The bot immediately turned its sensors toward the sound. "Good," Serena whispered. "Now, move left and take the cover of the parked car. Don't run in a straight line. Predictable movements get caught." Alex followed her instructions. Every step was calculated, yet instinctive. He felt a surge of energy, realizing that for the first time, his human mind, not any AI, not any algorithm, was what kept them safe. The bot adjusted, rolling forward faster, its sensors scanning for anomalies. Alex's heart pounded, but he reminded himself of one principle. Humans could think laterally. Machines could not. "Use the street light," Serena whispered. "Its light is strong enough to confuse its visual sensors temporarily." 10. Alex nodded. He sprinted toward the base of the street light, moving in a zigzag pattern as Serena instructed. When he reached the shadowed side, he activated the small flashlight on the device she had given him. The beam reflected off nearby surfaces, creating confusing patterns of light. The bot hesitated, its sensors flickering as it tried to adjust. "Perfect," Serena exclaimed quietly. "Keep moving." Alex and Serena darted across the street, ducking behind cars and trash bins. Every move required split-second decisions, combining observation, logic, and gut instinct. Alex realized he was thinking faster than he ever had in his life. His mind was a combination of calculation and intuition uniquely human. The bot seemed to grow more aggressive, spinning and scanning, attempting to predict their paths. But the more it tried, the more unpredictable they became. Alex glanced at Serena, her expression calm yet focused. "Ready for the next step?" she asked. He nodded. "Yes." "What now?" Serena pointed to a narrow alley between two buildings. "We'll lead it there. It's too tight for the bot to maneuver quickly. Then we trap it." Alex's pulse quickened. "Trap it? How?" "Improvise," she said with a grin. "That's what humans do best." They sprinted down the alley, the bot hot on their heels. Alex grabbed a loose metal grate from the side of a building and threw it in the bot's path. The bot swerved, wheels screeching slightly as it avoided the obstacle. Alex felt a rush of adrenaline. This was like a game, but the stakes were real. Serena ducked behind a stack of crates and motioned for him to follow. Together, they maneuvered around, using shadows, obstacles, and even the bot's own speed against it. Alex realized that their teamwork was seamless. Human intuition, human adaptability, and human communication, unspoken yet effective, were their greatest weapons. Finally, they reached a dead-end alley. Serena whispered, "Now." Alex saw the opening, a narrow gap that only the two of them could squeeze through. He nudged a crate with his foot, causing it to tilt just enough to block the bot's path. The machine collided with the obstruction, sensors flickering as it attempted to navigate. Serena and Alex ducked through the gap, emerging on the other side. They looked back, and the bot was stuck, unable to follow. Alex exhaled deeply, adrenaline pumping through his veins. "That was incredible," he said, still catching his breath. "We actually outsmarted it." Serena laughed softly. "Humans are remarkable. Machines can calculate, predict, and process data at incredible speeds. But they can't improvise the way we can. That's why you were chosen. You didn't panic. You adapted." Alex felt a mix of pride and disbelief. He had never imagined that his instincts, creativity, and quick thinking could be so valuable. All his life, he had relied on rules, instructions, and logic. But today, those qualities combined with pure human intuition had saved them. As they walked to the next street, Serena's tone became serious again. "Alex, I want you to understand something. Novatech isn't just about building technology. It's about understanding the balance between humans and machines. AI is powerful, but humans are irreplaceable. Your instincts, creativity, and ability to improvise, that's what keeps our innovations safe." Alex nodded, absorbing her words. He felt a strange sense of purpose. For the first time, he realized that his life, his skills, and even his nervous energy had real value in a world dominated by technology. They reached a quiet cafe at the corner of the street. Serena motioned for him to sit outside while she made a call. Alex watched her carefully, noticing the subtle changes in her demeanor. The way her shoulders relaxed, the way her eyes softened. She was a leader, yes, but also human, vulnerable in ways she rarely showed to the world. When she returned, she handed Alex a small cup of coffee. "You handled that perfectly," she said. "I didn't know you had it in you." Alex smiled faintly. "I didn't know I had it either. But it felt right. Like this is where I'm supposed to be." Serena's expression softened. "That's the point. Being human isn't just about following rules. It's about understanding, adapting, and creating when nothing else works. You have that, Alex. Never forget it." They sat in silence for a few minutes, the city's evening lights twinkling around them. Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had faced a challenge that no AI, no algorithm, could have solved alone. He had relied on human intuition, courage, and creativity, qualities that made him invaluable. As they prepared to leave, Alex glanced at the small device in his hand again. He knew this was only the beginning. The world was full of challenges, dangers, and surprises. But now, he understood that being human, unpredictable, resourceful, and adaptable was the greatest strength he could have. Serena glanced at him one last time. "Next time, the stakes will be higher. Are you ready?" Alex felt a thrill of anticipation. "Yes," he said firmly. "I'm ready." And with that, they walked into the city's evening glow. Two humans against a world of machines, ready to prove that instinct, courage, and ingenuity were the ultimate tools for survival. The city lights flickered on as night settled over the streets. The quiet hum of traffic and distant chatter filled the air. But for Alex and Serena, the night was far from ordinary. Their brief rest at the cafe had given them a moment to breathe, but now they were back on the move. Alex could still feel the adrenaline of the earlier chase coursing through his veins. The bot they had outsmarted was just the beginning, he knew it. Serena led him down a narrow alley that cut between two old office buildings. "We're not out of danger yet," she whispered. That bot was just a scout. The real threat is coming. Alex frowned. Scout? Real threat? What do you mean? Serena's expression grew serious. I've been tracking a rival corporation for months. They've been trying to steal our research, our AI systems, our prototypes, our innovations. That bot was just testing you. The next challenge will be more advanced, and it will be relentless. Alex's pulse quickened. He had faced machines before, but never with this level of strategy and intelligence. So, we're talking about a robot army? Not an army, Serena replied. Just one highly advanced security unit. It's small, but fast and smart. And it's designed to adapt to human behavior. That's why you're here. I need you to help me stay one step ahead. Alex nodded, swallowing hard. He felt a strange combination of fear and excitement. The stakes were higher now, but he also realized that he was ready to face them. They reached a side street and paused behind a parked delivery van. Serena glanced around carefully, then leaned close. Here's the plan. We need to lure it into a trap. But this time, we'll do it with strategy, not just improvisation. Alex raised an eyebrow. A trap? What kind of trap? Serena smiled faintly. You'll see. But first we need to work together, Alex. This isn't just about hiding or running. It's about coordination, timing, and using our human advantage. Alex felt a surge of determination. All right, I'm ready. Serena handed him a small remote from her bag. This will help control part of the environment streetlights, certain electronic signs, anything connected to the grid nearby. Use it wisely. Alex examined it, fascinated. The device was simple enough to operate, yet powerful. He realized that this was not just a test of speed or agility. It was a test of human intelligence and ingenuity. A faint whirring sound alerted them to the bot's arrival. It emerged from a dark corner, sensors glowing red, moving silently but deliberately. Its design was sleek, almost predatory. Alex's stomach tightened. Remember, Serena whispered, stay unpredictable. Don't let it anticipate your moves. We'll guide it. But you must act decisively. Alex nodded, gripping the remote tightly. Together, they moved down the street, pretending to be a couple taking a casual evening walk. The bot followed, its sensors tracking their every move. Now, Serena said, pointing to a small park ahead. We'll use the trees and benches. Distract it, mislead it, and funnel it into the alley behind that fence. That's our trap. Alex felt a thrill of anticipation. He had never coordinated anything like this before. Yet instinctively, he understood the plan. He activated the remote, causing a nearby streetlight to flicker and then turn off. The sudden darkness confused the bot momentarily, giving them the advantage. Good, Serena whispered. Keep moving. Stay calm. They maneuvered through the park, using benches, trees, and shadows to obscure their movements. Alex tossed a few empty bottles in random directions, creating false distractions. Each move required careful observation and quick thinking, combining strategy with improvisation. The bot adjusted, spinning and scanning, but it was slower to react than humans. Its programming relied on patterns, and humans rarely followed predictable ones. Alex realized that was the key. Their advantage wasn't strength or speed, it was the ability to think creatively and adapt instantly. Serena led the way, signaling him to follow. They reached the alley behind the fence. Serena glanced at him. Now. Alex pressed a button on the remote, triggering a small metal gate to swing closed behind them. The alley was narrow, with obstacles on either side, perfect for trapping the bot. The machine entered, but its sensors were misled by the shadows, reflections, and obstacles. It spun in place, trying to recalibrate. Impressive, Serena murmured. It's stuck, but it won't stay that way for long. Be ready. Alex felt a surge of confidence. He had never thought of himself as a hero, but tonight, his instincts, quick thinking, and human adaptability had made all the difference. He glanced at Serena, who was observing the bot with a mixture of focus and admiration. "You handled that perfectly," she said quietly. "Humans are unpredictable. That's why we survive, even when machines are designed to anticipate our every move. And Alex, you just proved it." Alex felt a flush of pride. He had never received praise like this before. Not for coding, not for experiments, not for anything. Tonight, his actions had real impact. He realized that being human, resourceful, adaptive, courageous was more powerful than any machine. "Thanks," he said, still catching his breath. Serena's expression softened. "You can. And you will. That's why I needed you tonight. I need humans like you, capable, quick thinking, and courageous. Machines may calculate, but humans innovate. Humans improvise. And that's what gives us the edge." Alex nodded, absorbing her words. He felt a deep sense of purpose. He wasn't just a junior engineer anymore. He was part of something bigger, something that relied on his human strengths. The bot finally freed itself from the alley, spinning around to continue the pursuit. But Alex and Serena were already moving again, using a combination of speed, shadows, and quick thinking to stay ahead. Every step was a test of their coordination and human ingenuity. They reached a quiet street lined with closed shops. Serena turned to him. "Time for the final move. We'll use the environment mirrors, glass windows, and reflections. The bot relies on direct tracking. We'll confuse it, trap it, and leave it behind." Alex felt a rush of excitement. This was no longer just survival, it was strategy, creativity, and human skill in action. He activated the remote, manipulating lights and electronic signs. Reflections bounced across the alley, confusing the bot's sensors. It hesitated, unsure of which direction to follow. "Go," Serena whispered. They sprinted past a row of reflective windows, using the bot's confusion to their advantage. Each movement was precise yet unpredictable. A perfect combination of planning and improvisation. The bot crashed into a metal trash bin, its sensors overwhelmed by the disorienting reflections. Alex felt a surge of triumph. They had outsmarted it, humans against machines. And humans had won. Serena turned to him, her eyes bright with pride. "Alex, tonight, you proved something important. Machines can process data, analyze patterns, and predict outcomes. But humans can adapt, improvise, and innovate. That's why we matter." Alex felt a warmth spread through him. He realized that his instincts, courage, and quick thinking were not just valuable, they were essential. In a world increasingly dominated by AI, humans had a unique and irreplaceable advantage. They paused, catching their breath under the glow of a streetlight. The city seemed quiet, but Alex knew the challenges were far from over. There would be more tests, more threats, and more machines designed to predict and control. But tonight, he had learned that human ingenuity was a force to be reckoned with. Serena glanced at him, a faint smile on her lips. "Next time, it will be even more challenging. Are you ready, Alex?" He nodded firmly. "Yes, I'm ready." For the first time, Alex felt truly capable, truly human, and truly powerful. He had faced a machine designed to outthink humans, and had won not because of strength or technology, but because of creativity, intuition, and courage. And as they disappeared into the night, moving through shadows and streetlights, Alex knew one thing for certain: the human edge was real, and it was unstoppable. The city skyline was lit with thousands of twinkling lights, reflecting in the glass of Novatech's towering headquarters. Alex felt a strange sense of awe as he looked up at the building. Just a few days ago, it had been a place of work, spreadsheets, coding, and endless meetings. Now, it felt like the center of a world that depended not just on technology, but on human ingenuity. He walked beside Serena in the quiet underground parking garage. The adrenaline from the night's chase still coursed through his veins, but he felt sharper, more alive, and strangely proud. He had faced a machine designed to track and intercept them, and together, they had outsmarted it. And in the process, he had discovered something important about himself. Being human, unpredictable, resourceful, and intuitive was his greatest strength. Serena glanced at him as they approached her sleek car. Her expression was softer than he had ever seen in the office, almost warm. "Alex, tonight wasn't just about surviving," she said. "It was about showing you what it means to use your human edge. Machines can process data, follow algorithms, and predict outcomes. But humans can adapt, improvise, and make decisions that no AI could ever predict." "Too," Alex nodded, gripping the small device she had entrusted to him. I understand now. It's not about the technology itself. It's about how humans use it, and how humans can outthink it when needed." Serena smiled faintly. "Exactly. And that's why you were chosen. Not because of your coding skills, or your knowledge of systems, but because of your instinct, your creativity, and your courage." Alex felt a rush of pride mixed with disbelief. Him? The quiet engineer who had spent countless nights debugging lines of code? Serena Vallon, the brilliant CEO, was telling him that he had what it took to be essential in a world dominated by machines. They stepped into the car. Serena started the engine, and the quiet hum filled the space. Alex's mind was still buzzing with thoughts of the night, the park chase, the bot, the reflections, and every quick decision that had kept them one step ahead. "You know," Serena began, her voice thoughtful, "I didn't just ask you to act like my boyfriend in the supermarket for fun. That was part of a test, but also a way to see how you'd handle pressure, how you'd think on your feet, how you'd respond when unpredictability hits." Alex smiled wryly. "Well, I guess I passed?" Serena laughed softly. "You did more than pass. You proved that humans still have an edge. Machines can calculate, but humans can innovate. Humans can surprise. And sometimes, surprise is the greatest weapon." Alex's thoughts drifted to the device in his hand. The portable AI assistant, the prototype that had caused so much danger, suddenly felt lighter. It wasn't just a piece of technology, it was a symbol of trust, of responsibility, and of the human ability to protect and adapt. As they drove through the city streets, Serena glanced at him. "Alex, I want to offer you something. A role that goes beyond engineering, coding, or debugging. I want you to lead a new team, a team focused on human-AI integration, a team that understands how humans can outthink, adapt, and enhance AI systems. Do you want that responsibility?" Alex's heart leapt. It was more than a promotion, more than recognition. It was an opportunity to make a real difference, to apply his human instincts and creativity to the future of technology. "Yes," he said firmly. "I want it. I'll do whatever it takes." Serena smiled, her eyes bright with approval. "Good. Because the world is changing, Alex. AI will continue to advance, but humans will always be the key. Not because we are stronger, faster, or smarter in calculations, but because we are unpredictable, inventive, and courageous. And that's exactly what I need in my team." Alex felt a surge of excitement. For the first time, he truly understood the value of his human instincts. He wasn't just part of the machine-driven world. He was a vital part of shaping it. As they pulled up to his apartment building, Serena paused. "Before you go, one more thing. Tomorrow, we start training. Real scenarios, real decisions. You'll be tested in ways that will challenge your instincts, your creativity, and your courage. But I have no doubt you're ready." Alex nodded, feeling a mix of anticipation and determination. "I'll be ready," he said. Serena stepped out of the car and handed him the small device once more. "Keep this close. It's more than a tool. It's a reminder of what you accomplished tonight, and of what humans can do when we trust our instincts." Alex took it, gripping it firmly. "I won't forget." As he walked into his apartment, he reflected on everything that had happened. Just a few hours ago, he had been an ordinary engineer, worried about deadlines and code errors. Now, he had faced a sophisticated bot, navigated a city filled with surveillance, and used nothing but his instincts and quick thinking to survive. And he had done it alongside one of the world's most brilliant minds. He set the device on his desk, staring at it thoughtfully. It was small, unassuming, but it represented so much more: trust, responsibility, and the power of human ingenuity. The next morning, Alex arrived at Novatech with a mixture of excitement and nerves. Serena greeted him in the lobby, her presence calm and commanding. "Ready for your first day with the integration team?" she asked. Alex squared his shoulders. "Yes, I'm ready." She nodded approvingly. "Good. Remember, this isn't just about technology. It's about understanding how humans and machines can work together, and how humans can always stay one step ahead. Instincts, creativity, and courage, that's what matters most." As Alex followed her to the new office, he glanced around at the bustling tech hub. Engineers, programmers, and AI specialists moved through the space, immersed in their work. Yet, in the midst of all the technology, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that machines could do incredible things, but humans had something machines would never have: intuition, adaptability, and the ability to improvise under pressure. Tonight, tomorrow, and for all the challenges ahead, that human edge would be his greatest strength. Serena led him to a conference room where a small team was already waiting. "Everyone," she said, "meet Alex. He's going to lead our new human-AI integration initiative. Pay attention, he has a lot to teach you about how humans can complement technology." Alex felt a mix of pride and nervousness, but as he looked at the team, he felt ready to take on the challenges, to protect the technology, and to prove that humans still had the X factor in a world increasingly dominated by machines. Over the next few weeks, Alex worked closely with Serena and the new team. They ran simulations, tested AI systems, and faced unexpected scenarios designed to push their limits. Every challenge relied on a combination of human ingenuity and machine intelligence. And Alex excelled. He adapted, improvised, and guided the team through complex situations that no algorithm could have solved alone. Through it all, he remembered the night in the park, the chase through the city streets, and the moments when his instincts had saved them. Those experiences were more than memories, they were proof of the power of human intuition, courage, and creativity. One evening, after a long day of simulations, Serena approached him in the lab. "Alex," she said, her voice calm but firm, "I want you to know something. Tonight, in every challenge we face, remember this: humans are the ultimate variable. Machines can calculate, predict, and follow rules. But humans can surprise, innovate, and overcome. And that's why we will always have the edge." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride and purpose. "I understand. And I won't forget it." As he looked around the lab, filled with advanced AI systems and cutting-edge technology, he felt a surge of confidence. He was no longer just an engineer, he was a vital part of the future, a human who could outthink machines and protect the innovations that would shape the world. And as he glanced at Serena, standing confidently amidst the hum of technology, he realized something else. In a world filled with machines, algorithms, and artificial intelligence, humans still had one thing no machine could ever replicate: the power to adapt, improvise, and innovate. Alex smiled, ready to face whatever challenges came next. Because now, he knew, beyond a doubt, that the human edge was real, unstoppable, and his greatest strength. The city stretched out before them, alive with possibilities, challenges, and opportunities. And Alex was ready to face it all: human, inventive, and unyielding. For in a world racing toward artificial intelligence, it was the human spirit, unpredictable, courageous, and brilliant, that would always shine the brightest.